Now then, here we are, me and Mutt, out for a wild camp in the beautiful fells of the Lake District. Take a look at that. And today we are heading up to the summit of Hallin Fell, which is the most perfect place for a beginner's wild camp, or just to test some kit out, because the views are fantastic with very little effort. The car is just down there and the summit is just up there, so you're not far away from your car. So I've had a few messages saying that some of the kit that I use is unaffordable, and I completely agree in many cases that it is very expensive, although a lot of it is fit for purpose. But for general wild camping, you're not going to go out and spend £1,000 on a tent or £800 on a sleeping bag when you're just starting out. So I set myself the challenge to buy the best quality kit possible for 150 quid. A full loadout for 150 quid to wild camp in some pretty cold conditions. It's going to get down to freezing tonight, up on the top of Hallin Fell. So you won't actually believe what I've got in this backpack. And this isn't any crappy supermarket rubbish that you'll use once or twice and then dispose of. This is some top branded gear, and I am honestly excited to show you exactly what I've actually acquired. So let's get all to the top of this hill and I will get it all out and show you exactly what I bought and what I spent on each item. A nice leisurely walk. Oh, look at the sunbeams. You see them in the distance there. Beautiful, beautiful. As I always say, it's just nice to be out in it. Always puts a smile on your face. It's always a nice place to be. No stress, just exhilaration, being part of nature. It's a beautiful spot, is this, overlooking Ullswater. And there's plenty of places to pitch a tent down here, and I think I'm going to go down there because I've not actually pitched there before, so we'll come back. But first of all, here's Bluey Dog, and there's the summit just up there, so we'll get to that summit cairn and we'll take a view looking over the other side. Beautiful, that, isn't it? You can just see in the distance just that sun falling through those clouds there and just laying on that lake. Right, from the start, understand that I'm a Yorkshireman, which means I'm tight. I've got short arms and deep pockets, so it's hard to get that money out. And when you do get to my wallet finally, you will need a lever bar to open it. It's not entirely true, but anyway. So the first bargains that I've got to show you are what I'm wearing. So this is a North Face sort of hoodie, and I acquired this for £19 off Facebook Marketplace. So quite a bargain, I would say, because it had only been worn once, and it's exactly the sort of thing that I like wearing in the mountains. Also, if you look at my trousers, these are the Mountain Equipment Ibex trousers, which retail for £80. I found these for £20. I bought one set, and this was off eBay, and the guy messaged me and said, I've got 3 more pairs if you'd like them, all in my perfect size, and I paid £20 for each. So I got 4 pairs for the price of 1. So one I turned into a pair of shorts, and the others I've just sort of worn for different things over the last year or two. What else? My boots are made by a company called Vask, or something like that, which is an American brand. And these are fully Gore-Tex waterproof boots. Super comfortable, and as you can see, they're absolutely filthy because I've tread through loads of bogs in them, and I got them for the bargain price of $39.99 for a set of Gore-Tex boots, and that was from sportshoes.com. An absolute bargain. Here we are then, dog. This is going to be home for the evening. A nice flat bit of grass with some magnificent views almost perfection, only spoilt by the fact that somebody's had a fire here and scarred the lovely landscape. Anyway, the light is fading. We need to get this tent pitched as soon as possible. And first of all, let's show you this backpack. So this I bought for another bargain price of $29.99, and it is a low alpine Camino Trek, and it's a 40 litre backpack, which is pretty much perfect for shoving all the kit in, and it's got a slight extender, so I think it goes to about 45, maybe even 50 litres. But anyway, it's an awesome backpack, and for that price, that is definitely part of my £150 budget, and I am happy to have paid that. So tent time, eh? Let's do it. Right, dog, let's have a look what's in the backpack. So we've got a pillow, my drone, which is what he's interested in, his favourite toy, my GoPro kit, I've got a cup, cooking kit, I've got a sleeping mat, or two, I'll tell you about that in a minute, a pair of woolly socks, some warm tights, a sleeping bag. Ugh. We've got a down jacket, a pillow, and then in this bottom section here I have fit my waterproof jacket and also the tent. The poles are just here on the side, and there's a couple of odds and ends extra in that, like water, my food, the dog's food, a ball for the dog, and everything else. But first of all, we need to get this tent up. This tent is probably my favourite piece of this whole kit, and it is the Jack Wolfskin Gossamer 1 tent. And as you can see, it has got a very small pack size. We've got a couple of poles in here, and obviously this is just the main tent body and some pegs. And it's a double skin tent. It doesn't really weigh much. Let's see what it says. 1,750 grams. That is it. So it's well within reason for carrying as a backpacking tent. And the only issue with it is that it's quite small. But for me, I do not mind at all, because generally this is going to get used when the weather's fairly good. You're going to be sat outside for most of the night and then just use this as a bed. But let's get it set up and I'll show you how awesome this tent is. There she is, a fine specimen of a tent. And as you can see, she's pitched pretty well, nice and taut, and we are going to be overlooking the lake, ready to take the sunrise in the morning. And I really do like the design of this tent. As you can see, it's very low profile, so the wind's just going to pass straight over the top there, which means I think it'll take a good hammering come some bad weather. That's also backed up as well with the fact that the materials used are very robust. This fly sheet here is very thick, and I'm sure that is going to be super waterproof. We've also got these very thick 6mm bungees, which are just going to have a bit of give. And the best thing about it is the poles are the exact same DAC poles that are used in the Hilleberg Solo. Absolutely crazy. But get this is what I paid for it. I paid $44.99 for that tent, brand new from a shop. $44.99. I don't actually think you'll get a new tent for better value than that. Yes, it might be small, but you can buy 21 of those for the same price as a Hilleberg Solo. 21 of them. Ridiculous. The light is fading fast. So next up, which was actually quite a tricky one, trying to find a sleeping pad that would suit conditions down to about freezing. Now I would say you need an R value of probably 3 that's going to be nice and safe for that. And to get a pad within budget was impossible, I would say, because generally they're £90 plus. So what I have purchased for £14 is this, which is the OEX Traverse 2.5. This has an R value of 2.6, which isn't quite enough to be safe up in the mountains. So I also bought this for £12, which is the OEX Traverse 3/4. So this is a full length pad and this is a 3/4 length pad. But because they've both got an R value of 2.6, added together means that it's got an R value of 5.2. So that's going to be well warm enough for being out down to about freezing. So the sleeping bag I bought is the Mountain Equipment Sleepwalker 3. A pretty damn awesome sleeping bag. It's a little bit bulky, I would say, for carrying in a backpack. I mean, it does compress down a little bit, but this is probably my biggest bargain of all because I got it from a car boot sale for £5. The lady who sold it to me said that she bought it for her son to do the Duke of Edinburgh, used it once and then it has never been used since. So I was very happy to give her £5 for that. So to fully complete my sleep system, I've bought myself a pillow, and this is the Sea to Summit Eros Premium Pillow, and I got this for the bargain price of £15, and that was from the Sea to Summit stand at the Outdoor Expo. So it is now getting really cold, so I am going to put on my bargain down jacket, get all this kit in the tent and just get myself nice and warm. Let's do it. I'm just sat against this rock, hiding out of the wind, on my £14 worth of sleeping mat, which is just insulating me from the ground. I'm also in my Mountain Equipment sleeping bag, which I think's actually really comfortable and pretty warm as well. It's got like a built-in neck baffle, which definitely helps. So I'm quite toasty as I am, and obviously keeping my upper body warm here, I have got a down jacket on. And this is a Mountain Equipment down jacket, which I found for, get this, £38. Absolutely brand new, but it was a factory second. And I think, let me just see if I can find it. So this is why it's a factory second. If you can just sort of see there, I've got a tiny little hole in it. So obviously the machinist, it looks as if they've just sort of snipped it when they were cutting one of the threads off, that's all. And there's that little hole obviously can't be sold as new, so all I did was stick a little patch over it, and I've got a brand new, beautiful jacket for a bargain price. Anyway, it is time to eat some dinner. So I have got to eat tonight a big fat pork pie, which is rather unhealthy but filling. I've got some cream cheese stuffed cherry bell peppers, which are absolutely delicious, and I've also got a little bit of broccoli there, which I'm just going to eat raw, so that just adds a bit of balance with the health. But I'm also capable of making myself a nice cup of tea, so that is going to be well appreciated, sitting back and just looking down on the rest of the world as it moves in the distance. Just the odd sort of car light and house light flickering here and there. It's a beautiful spot. Cracking night for it, albeit a little chilly, hence why I'm wrapped up so much. Anyway, this is actually included in the £150 budget, as is this cup. So the cup is made by GSI Outdoors and it retails at about £5, and I found it for the bargain price of 80p. So I snapped up a box of 12 of these, which 5 of them are in my shipping container, which I use pretty regularly, and a couple I gave away and a couple are just in a box somewhere. This is also made by GSI Outdoors, and it is the Minimalist Cook Set. I've got about another 3 of these and I absolutely swear by them. They are brilliant. The reason I got this for a bargain price of £8 is because the outer sleeve, the insulating sleeve, was missing. So it just means that you can't really use it for a cup because obviously you're going to burn your hand. That dog is so cute. He's just nestled himself into a bit of soft grass and fallen asleep. I do love that dog. Anyway, let's flip these gloves off and delve into my cooking pot. So my gas canister is in that, so we'll put that aside. I've got a couple of bits in the bottom, including my pot grabs. So this came with it, and obviously they're just for picking it up off the stove when the pot is hot. And these normally retail for about a tenner, so the fact that I got the whole set for £8, absolute bargain. Anyway, let's just pop that aside. I'll have a cup of tea in a minute, so I've got a chocolate bar to go with it. And let's get stuck into a pork pie. I bet this will get the dog awakened, because he'll soon smell it. Although I've already fed him, so he should be content. Look at the size of that. It's an absolute beast. I don't know whether I'll get through all that. Let's unzip. In fact, let's just take that hood off. Feeling pretty toasty warm. And we'll dive into the pie. It's going to take a while to get to meat, I think. Not bad at all. It does weigh some, does that though? It's about half the weight of my whole backpack, I reckon. Anyway, let's get into here as well. This is what I'm actually really excited about. I absolutely love these. They are just really, really tasty. Raw broccoli is so tasty. This is actually a really tasty meal. And we've got some healthy in this hand and a heart attack in this hand. But it's all about balance in life. And generally, I am super healthy. I eat well and I exercise. So for me to indulge in this does not bother me at all. Even though you are watching me lose my six-pack as we speak. The final item in the £150 budget is this, and it is the little tiny titanium stove, which weighs 26 grams, and these normally retail for about sort of 16-17 quid on Amazon. I found this for £12, so it was pretty much a bargain at that. Although you can find them for about 7 quid if you buy them on like AliExpress or somewhere like that. So anyway, definitely a great little bit of kit, because it just fits in your bag anywhere because it's so small, and it is pretty good. It actually works pretty well. You've got a bit of adjustment as well with the little gas twiddly thing. That's what I'm talking about. Nice cup of tea. I've also got an energy bake to go with it, which is by Science in Sport, strawberry flavoured. So I didn't actually eat all my pie because obviously that would be rather greedy. I've saved a bit for the dog, and I've saved a bit of space for this as well. I just sort of felt I needed a bit of sweet with my tea. That was good. Very nice indeed. Another cheap item that I have got to show you is this. It's just a hanging sort of tent light. And I've had this for... It's when I got back from New Zealand, so it'll be 10, nearly 11 years. and it's the tent light that I've used the most out of any that I've got, and it has been brilliant. I bought it for £9.99 and I just had a look on Amazon to see if it's still available, and it's currently unavailable, although there are some very similar. Let me just turn it off so you'll be able to see it. But there you go, very simple light, and it's also a little bit of a power bank, so you can just sort of plug your phone in and get a bit of charge off it if you need. It's just very basic. It's got about 4 different functions on it, or light modes. Very simple, but I cannot fault it at all. For a tenner, that is just absolutely brilliant. And if it does come available again, then I will try add it into the list in the description. So anyway, a tent light. We all need a tent light as well. Speaking of lights, I would say that one of the most important bits of kit needed for wild camping is a head torch, just because it allows you to move around your sort of camping area safely without sort of tripping over a cliff or busting your ankle on some sort of rock. Also, if something does go wrong in the night and you do need to navigate off the mountain, this is the only way you're going to do it safely without further putting yourself in danger. So definitely worth it for the safety aspect, but I couldn't justify spending £10 or £15 on a head torch to add into this kit, purely because I've got several which are absolutely awesome already, and if I did buy one it would not get used at all, and that is just bad for the environment. So for the rest of the kit, I'm either going to use or I have a plan for. So this sleeping bag and the mat that I'm on, I'm actually going to give away to somebody homeless. And the green mat that I've got, I won't use it myself for sleeping on, but I'm going to use it for the dog. That's going to go in the van, so that's going to get used as well. And I just think that that's sort of the best way to be, really. If you have kit that you don't need, then just pass it on and just help someone else get started, or give it to somebody homeless, and that just means that we are all being kinder in life, and that's always a massive positive. Anyway, after indulging in that rather large pie, I want to lay here for another half hour or so and just indulge some more in nature. My absolute favourite place. So, we'll see you in the morning. Take care. Morning flowers. Well, that's not a bad view at all to wake up to, is it? I've opened up the front of this tent and I've been laid here listening to the nice wind and just taking it all in, with the beautiful blue of course. And surprisingly, this tent is big enough for me and him to get in, and a backpack. The good thing about it is it's 900mm wide, which is the same size as a single bed, so plenty of width. The only issue is the fact that there isn't much height, so once you're in, you're in. You can't really sort of move around very easily, but it has done the job exactly what I needed to do last night. And I think this tent would be absolutely brilliant for sort of in the woods as like a bit of a bushcraft tent, in conjunction with a tarp. So if you had a couple of sticks or a couple of trekking poles just to add to it, just give you a little bit of outside space to sit under, and then just use this as your bed. What do you say, Blue? That's better. Feeling that warmth on my face for the first time today. Although I did sleep comfortably warm in the gear that I'm in, and surprisingly comfortably on the 2 mats. That's the point where I thought I might sort of suffer for the night, but it was actually all right. So we are going to get ourselves up and packed away, and I'll show you the last sort of couple of bargains that I have brought with me. Firstly, I've got this pillow, which is just a tiny little pillow that just adds to the comfort of the pillow that I've already got, and I bought this for £2. I've actually got a couple of these pillows which I bought about 10 years ago, and generally I use them while sleeping in my hammock, but for £2, an absolute bargain. Right, it's time to wriggle my way out of here and see what the world has got to offer us today. Awesome, all packed up, ready to go. Leave no trace as always, and we are now gonna head back up to the summit cairn to take in this view for one last time. And what a view it is, eh? Such a beautiful spot to come camping. And as I said, minimal effort for maximum gain, just to get all those views for literally just a very short walk. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Whew. Oh, let's hide behind here. That wind is bitter. It's only just above freezing now and it's quite a strong breeze, so I'm actually really feeling it. Anyway, look where we are. We've got one end of Ullswater down there towards Penrith, and then if I bring you this way, all the way along, we've got the far end there, which is towards Glenriddin and the Helvellyn range, and it's just an absolutely beautiful view from here. The last couple of items to show you are firstly this jacket, which is an Adidas Terex Gore-Tex jacket, which I found for £39, and that was on the Wiggle website. It had like a massive discount anyway, and then it also had an extra 10% off, so I snapped that one up. And I bought this in a size large, so it's just slightly bigger than what I would have as like more of a fitted jacket, and that's because then it will fit over the top of like a down jacket as a final cover to make sure I'm protecting the down. The final and best bargain of all is this Arc'teryx hat, which I acquired for free. I found it somewhere, took it home, slung it in the washing machine. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and now my head's warm. Anyway, to conclude, it just shows you that if you take your time and search for those bargains, you can buy a full wild camping setup for less than £150, and that gets you out here to enjoy and embrace nature in amongst all these beautiful mountains. Also, all my clothing bargains, including my Gore-Tex boots and my down jacket, came to a total of £160, which is absolutely unreal. So get yourselves shopping, make sure you're taking your time to spend the money in the right places. Don't waste it on absolute rubbish that you're only going to use once. Buy some kit that is worth using several times and that you can possibly upgrade to in the future and then pass on to other people to use as well. Something along those lines. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure. So, from me and the beautiful Blue, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.